point that I'm focusing on here is willingness to acknowledge mistakes is one of the things that we do to demonstrate our commitment to winning, and it's especially important for people in leadership positions. This is a story I haven't told for a variety of reasons, and I'm going to tell it today for a couple of reasons. First, it does illustrate the point I'm trying to make, and second, it's an event that occurred on this day, 39 years ago. Hard to believe it's been that long. July 12th, 1968. A few days before, I had celebrated my 22nd birthday on July 7th, 1968. And I'll pause here for a moment and give you time to calculate how old that makes me. 9 years older than dirt. I had flown ashore into Viet Nam and assumed my first command, as Barry described in his intro, of a Marine rifle platoon. There were 3 platoons in our company, and the company was located on a little hill up in the northern part of I Corps, close to the DMZ in South Vietnam, Hill 512. Our company and the other 2 companies, or 3 companies in the battalion, were strung out on hilltops along a wide or broad valley, and we were there theoretically to block the infiltration route of North Vietnamese soldiers who weren't using the Ho Chi Minh Trail but were coming in across the DMZ. I arrived in country eager, as most young officers are, for an opportunity to prove myself. A reason that war is a young person's game, I suppose. The folly of youth, the enthusiasm of youth. I couldn't wait for my first contact. What I had no way of knowing was there was a unit of the North Vietnamese Army that was eager to accommodate me. We would, on a daily basis, send out patrols several kilometers around our perimeter. And then they would come in, and then just before dark we would send out listening posts 200 or 300 meters outside our lines to prevent them from sneaking up and hitting us in the night. So there was always a gap between when the daytime patrols came in and the night acts, we call them, went out. And on July 12th, the patrols had come in and the night acts hadn't gone out yet. I was sitting on the very top of the hill with my platoon sergeant and my radio operator. We were talking about who was going to go on listening posts that night, when suddenly we came under intense mortar fire, rocket-propelled grenade, machine gun, small arms, from a tree line about 300 meters away. I'll tell you, it was like nothing I ever had been exposed to, and it was like something I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine what it was going to be like. It was loud. It was scary. It was chaotic. It was smoky. There were people hit. I can't tell you what went through my mind consciously, only that when I became aware of what was going on, I looked out toward the tree line from which we're taking fire, and I saw one of my squad leaders, Corporal Cole, kneeling down, shooting an M79 grenade launcher, lobbing grenades into the tree line. He had picked it up from a Marine who'd been hit, been wounded. I don't know what possessed me. I ran out to where Corporal Cole was. And I guess it was my sense of Texas justice. We'll bring them to justice. I pulled my .45 caliber pistol out. I assumed a good standing firing position and promptly squeezed off 7 rounds at people I couldn't see in a tree line 300 meters away. How many of you have ever fired a pistol? They will be quick to verify the accuracy of what I'm getting ready to tell you, ladies and gentlemen. The likelihood of me hitting anything much smaller than Mount Everest at 300 meters was slim and none. I was not suppressing fire with my .45. I suspect that the best thing that my doing that did was cause the enemy to fall into peals of laughter. My squad leader never stopped firing, and as soon as he realized I had expended all the rounds in my magazine, fearing probably that I was going to reload and do that again, yelled at me, "Lieutenant, we need to bring some fire on that tree line." He wasn't referring to my pistol. I had committed a classic mistake. I had forgotten what? What is my role here? And my role, ladies and gentlemen, was not to fire at these people with my pistol. My fire was to ensure that we had filled any breaches in our defensive position, my job was to ensure that we had Marines and weapons deployed in such a way as to prevent them, because we knew what their intention was, to overrun our hillside. It was to ensure that that didn't happen. It was to coordinate with the company commander and with the other platoon commanders. And I'm out there shooting my pistol, but in a heartbeat, Corporal Cole reminded me. And I looked around for my radio operator, who always followed me everywhere I went. He wasn't there, and I looked back up to where we had been sitting, and he's down, and there's a corpsman working on him. He got hit. So I ran up and put